This is your lonely old lady. I'm back. And I know I haven't posted anything for the last couple of weeks, but that's because I was really sick. I could not believe how sick I was with something unknown. Nobody seems to know what it was. It was the strangest bug I'd ever had in my entire life. I've never had one where you get up in the morning, you feel fine. By 5 o'clock, you can barely drag yourself out. And when that was what happened, I went to work, could barely drag myself out to my car. Then the next day I would have off. I'd get up in the morning and I'd feel okay, sort of, a little bit woozy, and I would wind up sleeping most of the day. But by 5 o'clock again, I would have a fever. And again, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't function at all. And this went on for about a week, a little over a week. And then one day I got up and it was gone. I mowed my lawn. I got my whole lawn done. That usually takes me 2 days. I had it all done from 8 to 3 in the afternoon. I had that much energy. So I have no idea what it was that was causing all of this trouble. But anyway, so I'm back again. And to give you an idea of what I've been doing, I have had my lawn mowed, and I started weeding my gardens up in front, the big, huge gardens, and I don't think I've taken you up there before. So perhaps on the rest of the video, or maybe the next time, I'll take you up there and show you how big those gardens are. And I've been spending the last couple of days now weeding those gardens, and it's been hot, but it's had a nice cool breeze, so that has helped me. So right now, what I'm wanting to do is I'm going to be fixing myself a hot dog sandwich. And by the way, one of the things I like on my hot dog bologna sandwich is lunch meat sandwich. I love onions on them. And just so you know, remember those giant green onions we talked about a while back? Well, I still have giant green onions left, and that is what I'm using to put on my hot dog this time. And every time that I need onions right now. And they're going to last me for a while because I've got them in a bag in the refrigerator, and they're not going to dry out, and they're not going to rot or anything there. There's not a lot of moisture in that bag. So anyway, I've gotten my bread out, and I don't like to put mayonnaise on my hot dogs. So I'm not going to put mayonnaise on my hot dogs. But I think I'm going to fix this, and I'm going to kind of show you what I do when I fix a hot dog sandwich. I've already showed you my peanut butter and jelly recipe for my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I'm going to show you my hot dog recipe for my hot dog sandwich. One of the things I do is I have this little single person's Foreman grill that I use to grill my hot dogs on. And let me get this down where maybe you can see it. But it is just a George Foreman grill, and I've got it heated up. And so I'm going to take my hot dogs and I'm going to just lay them on the grill. And then I'm going to close the grill, and I am going to let them grill for about 4 minutes while I make the rest of my sandwich. And I just use my handy dandy stove timer for that. I use my stove timer for almost everything. So now I'm going to, I've already cut up my onions. So now the only thing I have to do now is I have to wait. I've grilled my onions, and so now I just have to wait until the hot dogs are done in 4 minutes. And then I will complete my hot dog sandwich, and I'll kind of show you how I make it when I get to that point. Okay, so the hot dogs are now out of the grill, and I'll show you. They're grilled, and they have some pretty neat little grill marks on them. And I've got them on my bread, and I'm all set to doctor them up to the way I like them on my hot dogs. And one of the things that I do, the first thing I do, is I like yellow mustard on them. So I'm going to squiggle some yellow mustard on the hot dogs. Just kind of squiggle them. And so now I've got mustard on them. So the next thing I do actually is I will now put the relish on, because if I put the relish on the very top layer, the relish tends to make that top bread really soggy, and then it's harder to eat them. And the worst thing in the world is to have trouble eating your sandwich that you have made yourself and the way you like it, so that you don't have to worry about anybody else, because I can make my hot dog any way I want to, because there is nobody here to tell me not to. I live alone, and that's one of the reasons I like to live alone, because I can make my hot dogs, I can make my peanut butter sandwiches or lunch meat sandwiches any way I want to, and if somebody doesn't like them, they're not the ones that have to eat it. Now this is what the hot dog sandwich is going to look like. There's a third layer that goes on it, and that is my onion layer, and I happen to really like onions. So these are those giant green onions that we talked about. I just cut little circles and I lay them on top of the relish so that I have a nice onion flavor on them. So there we go. That is how I do it. Now I'm going to put the top on it, and I'm going to cut it. I'm not going to cut it this way, because if I cut it this way, it makes it harder to eat. I've learned that if I put the hot dogs on this way on the bread, then it's a little bit easier to cut them, and it is easier to hold the bread and eat it. So I prefer the easiest way possible. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'm going to use a serrated knife because there's nobody here to help me cut this stupid thing. So I use a serrated knife, and then I can cut it myself, and I'm going to try to get right in between the two hot dogs that I've laid on the bread. So wish me luck. Here it goes. There it is. It is now cut, and I now have my hot dog sandwich, and I think I'm going to have a glass of milk with it, and I'm going to go ahead and retire to my living room. I think I'm going to put on a Netflix movie or a Hulu movie and eat my sandwich and rest a little bit from all the weeding that I did this morning and watch my movie. So until the next time, and there's more in the life of a lonely old lady, tune in again and see what else I might be up to, see what else I might be doing that I can do all by myself with no help from anybody. Not that anybody's going to come and help me anyway. So for now, good day, have a good day, and we will talk to you later.